Hello students, I hope you all are doing well. Today in our geography class we are going to start a new chapter. The name of the chapter is Population Dynamics. So in this chapter we will get to know about the basic ideas of the world population and some of the advantages and problems related to this population factor. Now, the first information, valuable information that we are going to get, that is the total world population is estimated at 7.4 billion, okay, with an average density of 45 persons per square kilometers. So, they are giving in the first portion of the chapter or in the beginning of the chapter only, they have given us an idea about the total population of the world and the average population density. So, we have to understand the difference between population and population density. So, let me try to clarify this to you all. That is, whatever the total population of a place, of a country is, or a state or a city, whatever we can take as example. So, the total population or the total number of people living over there, that is the total population. We can calculate the total population of a city or a state or a country or the entire world. And what about population density? Population density is related to area or space. That is, right now I have said that whatever number of people are living in an area, that is the total population. And what about population density? That is, in every square kilometer area, whatever number of people are living, that is the population density of that particular place. That is 1 square kilometer area, an area which is 1 square kilometer, that is a square area with 1 kilometer, each side 1 kilometer, that is 1 square kilometer area. So within that area, whatever number of people are living, that is considered as the density of population or population density of that particular area. So let me clarify this with further more examples. That is, let us take the example of our state Kolkata. Our state West Bengal. In West Bengal, there are many districts. Okay, Kolkata is one of them. So, if we want to know the total population of West Bengal, we will obviously get to know. But whatever the total population of West Bengal is, it is not that all the places of West Bengal are equally populated. Maybe some of the places of West Bengal have very high population density, just like Kolkata. Maybe some of the places of West Bengal have less population density, like Purulia, like Alipurduar, these places. Okay, so this is the difference between total population and population density of a place. Now, let us proceed. So, according to the total population, the world has been divided into three categories. One is densely populated, that is the places of the world where the population is very high. Another portion or another category is moderately populated, that is the areas or the countries of the world where the population is not too high or not too less. It is moderate or it is medium. And the third category is sparsely populated, or it is also, we can also say, less populated. So as the name suggests, sparsely populated or less populated means the places of the world or the countries of the world where the population is very less or quite less. So now we have to know the examples are the countries which are falling in these categories. So our first category is densely populated regions. That means countries of the world where the population and population density both are very high. So we have got many examples in our textbook like Eastern Asia, South and Southeast Asia, Western and Central Europe, East Central, uh, North America. There will be a comma, East Central and North America. East Central part of North America. Okay. So there won't be a comma. So it is East Central part of North America. So what are the reasons why these places of the world like Eastern Asia, South and Southeast Asia, Western and Central Europe, East Central part of North America, all these places have very dense population or very high population? Why? So obviously some of the favorable reasons are, first of all these places have level land. That means they have flat land. These places are not mountainous or hilly. These places have got level land or flat land. The soil is also very good, or the places have got fertile soil. The climatic condition is also favorable for living, and the transportation or transport network is very good. That is why most of these places are agriculturally very developed, and many industries have also developed in these places. So due to these reasons, these places or these regions of the world have very high population density. Now let us come to the next category, moderately populated regions. That is places or regions of the world where the population is medium. Moderate means medium, not too high or not too less. So let us see the examples which places are coming under or falling under this category. It is central portion of USA, Central America, coastal areas of South America, Western and Northern Africa, South Africa, Southern Russia, Eastern Europe, Central China, Deccan Plateau of India, and Southeast Australia. Okay, so all these places we have got so many names over here. So all these places have got medium or moderate population density. Okay, why these places have medium or moderate population density? That is, in many of these areas there has been improvement in existing economic activities such as introduction of irrigation facility, mining, or development of new industries. So initially these places were having quite less population, but due to the improvement of irrigational facility, the agricultural work developed a lot, and due to urbanization and industrialization, more and more people are getting jobs over here. That is why many people are migrating to these areas, and henceforth the population of these places have increased a lot than whatever it was previously. And now that is why, due to the increase in population, these places have become moderately populated. Previously they were less populated. Now let us come to the third category, that is sparsely populated regions of the world or less populated regions of the world. So we can easily understand this with the help of our common sense, that these places must have got some problem or some negative factors due to which the population of these places are very less. Maybe the climatic factor is not favorable for living. Maybe the places have got very high temperature or very less temperature. Maybe the rainfall is not suitable. Maybe the rainfall is too high or the rainfall is too less. That is one factor, is climatic factor, that is one unfavorable or non-favorable climatic condition. Secondly, we can say maybe these places do not have good soil for the growth of different kind of crops, and the transport network is also very underdeveloped. So due to these reasons, these places of the world, like some of the equatorial regions, the ice capped polar regions, and the hot and cold deserts of the world, have recorded very less population. So there must be some negativities or negative factors. As it has been said that in these regions, the harsh climatic condition and the inhospitable terrain. Inhospitable means something which is not good, something which is not favorable. Okay, terrain means the topography, the nature of the land, whether the land is a flat land or it is a hilly area or it is a mountainous area, that is terrain. Okay, so the terrain or the nature of the land is also not favorable, not good. That is why it has been said that it is inhospitable. So let us see the examples falling under this category. So within the equatorial region, places like the Amazon and the Zaire basin have low population density. Why? Because in these places the temperature is very high, rainfall is heavy, swampy grounds and dense forest. So actually these places, the Amazon basin and the Zaire basin, these places, Amazon is in South America, Zaire is in Africa. So these places more of they have recorded more of tribal population, people who are far apart from the modern civilization. Their lifestyle is totally different and they prefer to live within the forests. Okay, so now another example is the ice-capped polar regions such as Antarctica and the tundra region. So as it has been said, the ice-capped polar regions and some other places are also there, like the Himalayas, the Rockies and the Andes, because of very cold climate and the rough mountainous terrain. It is very difficult to live in these places. That is why here also the population is very less. Now the last example in this category, that is the hot and cold deserts like the Sahara, Kalahari, West Australian, Atacama also have low density of population. So we all know that deserts are barren lands where the availability of water is very less due to less availability of water. Vegetation is also very less and living condition is very harsh or very difficult over here. So that is why very less number of people live in and around deserts. Okay, so now I hope you all have understood what is the meaning of densely populated region, moderately populated region and sparsely populated region. So now I am moving on to the next category, that is overpopulation and underpopulation. So first of all, we will get the example of some overpopulated and underpopulated countries of the world, and then we have to learn the impact or the effect of overpopulation or underpopulation. So what is the meaning of overpopulation? Overpopulation is nothing but whatever amount of people or whatever number of people can live in a place nicely, safely, properly, if the population of a place is much higher than that, then that is considered to be overpopulation, or those countries are known as overpopulated countries, or they are marked as overpopulated countries. And overpopulation leads to many problems. Just make it simple in a way. So suppose in your classroom 30 students can sit nicely, whatever the size of the classroom and whatever number of tables and desks are there, 30 students can sit nicely over there. But if in your class the total number of students, suppose the total number of students are 55, then obviously there will be some problem, sitting problem. There will be, the class will be very much congested. It will be very difficult for you to adjust in that kind of a classroom. So in that way we can say that the classroom is overpopulated or overcrowded. Okay, so this is the actual concept of overpopulation. That is, whatever number of people can live in a place properly, nicely, if or comfortably. Most important comfortably. If the number of people or if the number of residents living over there are much higher than that, then it is considered to be overpopulation. So now let us see the examples of the countries which are categorized as overpopulated countries. So obviously it is China, world's highest populated country or largest populated country, followed by our country which is in the second position, then Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda and Ethiopia. Okay, so these are the examples of some of the overpopulated countries. Now the next category or the next concept that I am going to share with you all, that is underpopulation. Obviously underpopulation is just the opposite of overpopulation. That is, suppose whatever number of people can live in a place comfortably, if the number of residents are much less than that, so that is considered to be underpopulation. Okay, so suppose in your classroom the total number of students are 40, but in a particular day, maybe due to heavy rain or some other reason, only 14 students have come. So you can see the entire classroom seems to be quite empty. Okay, so that kind of a thing can be compared to underpopulation. Okay, so that is whatever number of people can live in a place comfortably, if the number of residents are much less than that, so it is considered to be underpopulation. Okay, underpopulation has also got some positive and negative impact. We will obviously learn those. Okay, so see what they have written in the textbook. Underpopulation is a condition where the population of a particular region is too small to fully utilize the available resources. Underpopulation is also characterized by a condition where the available resources have the potential to sustain large population without reducing the standard of living. So whatever natural resources are available in a country, that is minerals, forest resources, agricultural resources, whatever amount of resources are available in a country, that can satisfy much more number of people than whatever the total number of people are living there. Okay, so that is one positive characteristics of underpopulated countries. But in an underpopulated country, the total natural resource cannot be exploited due to less human labor. Okay, or due to less amount of human resource. So now let us see which countries of the world has been marked as underpopulated countries. There are also many names like Ireland, Canada, Romania, Bulgaria, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia and Georgia. So these are the examples of underpopulated countries of the world. Now we have to see the impact or the result of underpopulation or overpopulation. Now let us see what has been said. So they have said that some of the major causes of overpopulation are high birth rate, low death rate, poverty, illiteracy, better medical facilities and all that. So in most of the overpopulated countries, it has been noticed that the population is very high, okay, or the birth rate is very high, and as the medical science have developed a lot, or due to the progress of medical science, death rate have reduced considerably. So for this matter, the population remains high. Okay, and overpopulation has got mostly negative impact. Okay, let's see what are those. The pressure of population on natural resources like land, water and forest is high, leading to their depletion. Obviously, one of the main reasons of deforestation is overpopulation only. As the population of a country or a place increases too much, then for making space for them to live, forests have to be cut down, or for creating more agricultural lands, forest has to be cut down, or for making more industries, residential houses, roads, whatever we can say, forests have to be cut down. So this is one of the major cause, that is one of the major cause of deforestation is overpopulation. Another thing that we can say, excessive industrialization and urbanization results in increased level of pollution. Obviously, in most of the towns or most of the big cities, the level of pollution is too high. Whatever different kind of pollution, whether it is air pollution or it is water pollution or it is noise pollution, whatever it is, in any big town or city, the rate of pollution is very high in comparison to small villages. In small villages, the rate of pollution is much less because less number of people are living over there. Okay. Next thing that we can say, the cost of living is high due to expanding difference between demand and supply. Obviously, if we want to buy a house in today's world, we have to pay a huge lump sum of money because of the price of the land is raising. Okay. Another thing that has been said, overpopulation leads to increased rate of unemployment, which further results in poverty and high crime rate. This is also a very negative or bad impact of overpopulation. So suppose in a city, whatever number of offices or industries are there that can support 5 lakh people, that can give employment to 5 lakh people. But if in that particular city 20 lakh or 15 lakhs of people are living, then there will be many unemployed, and because of that unemployment, people will live in poverty and some of them will indulge in illegal work or in different kind of crime because of lack of money. Last but not the least, that has been said, the health and sanitation condition are also poor. People who are living in slums, we cannot expect that their living condition will be very good or very hygienic. Okay, so these are all the negative impacts of overpopulation, because overpopulation mostly have negativities. Now the next thing that we have to know, that is the causes of underpopulation and the impact of underpopulation. So it has been said that some of the main reasons of underpopulation are less fertility or reduced fertility rate, large scale emigration, that is people are moving out from that particular place or from that country to some other country. Then famine or war or some sort of political conflict, that is famine or that is shortage of food or war. We know that in a war many people dies, or maybe due to different kind of political conflict, many people they are moving out from that place to some other place. So these are the main reasons or main causes of underpopulation. Now what are the impact of underpopulation? In a country where the population is too less, most of the natural resources will remain unused, because if people are not there, who will work upon those natural resources? Okay, so most of the natural resources will be unused and there will be less pressure on those natural resources, and obviously the pollution level of that country will also be less. Okay, and there will be no unemployment problem, because as very less number of people are living in the country, so whatever factories or whatever industries or whatever offices are there, most of the people will get work over there, and those industries or factories or offices can provide work to many other people. If people migrate to those countries, they will get job over there. Okay, so there will be no problem of unemployment, and as there is no problem of unemployment, the crime rate will also be quite low. Another thing, social and infrastructural facilities such as housing, sanitation, water supply, there will be no problem regarding all this. So we can say, if we sum up this portion, we can say that overpopulation has got mostly negative effects and underpopulation have got mostly positive effect. So children, today I am ending my class over here, as because this is a big chapter, so I think I will end up this chapter in the next class. So today whatever I have taught you, that is what is population, what is population density, what are the densely populated countries of the world, why they are densely populated, then followed by moderately populated and sparsely populated, examples and reason for being so. Then what is underpopulation, examples of underpopulated countries, what is overpopulation, examples of overpopulated countries, and impact of underpopulation on overpopulation. Please go through them and try to understand those. Okay, thank you for the time being. We will meet in the next class.